All right, so we're back, and so this time I'm going to actually create a swipe tool. Now, swipe tools are really fantastic ways to be able to, instead of having two side-by-side panel maps, which you can do in a layout, this is a really effective way to do that, but in one web map application. And so I really like the swipe tool for a lot of different applications, particularly if you have two different layers and you want to show the differences between them. So I've done this a lot with my illicit massage business data when I have two different data sets so that I can look and see whether or not they're showing the same place. Now, this is something that's also really effective for something like the seismic map, where you want to have one set of your information on one side that shows you where the risk is and the other one that shows you where the population is. So I actually like the web map swipe tool a little bit better for this than I do for that animated map series, although the animated map series was perfectly fine. So to do this particular map, what you're actually going to do is you're going to go to the exact same place, right? So this is where we have all the different options for our application, and we're going to head over into Media Map. Media Map is where you can even see in here how it has this swipe tool attached to it. This is where we're going to want to do this. And so I already had created an application that says seismic risk in Japan, and so what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put that this is the swipe tool. Now I can keep the same tags, that's fine. I'm going to keep it in cartography, also fine, and I'm going to create this application. Now, same as in the animated map with the slider with the time, this is going to show up the same sort of way. So we have the map, that's going to be the first step. That's always the first step, right? So it's going to pop up with the original map that we had. And so I'm going to turn off the express in this case just at the start, because I want to make sure that I have all of the possible interactivity options to be able to do this. And so I have the seismic risk in Japan. If you want to switch this, you're also able to do that. You just hit select map, and any other map option that you currently have is going to pop up. So if I go in here, any map that I have is going to pop up in this case, right? And so as you build up more data sets and more web maps, you'll have more options about what you can create applications with. So but for now, I've got the seismic risk in Japan. Then I'm going to go to About, and this is going to allow me to have the different details. So right now, the legend style is done as a card. So this is up at the top here, and so I can open up that legend and show what the different legends are, right? Or I can have classic, and classic is going to have your classic way of doing that. Now in this case, I do kind of like the card. I'm always going to add this introduction window and say that I want this seismic risk, and that's fine. And so this one has automatically pulled for my introduction window what I have as my summary. Now, again, we have already seen that we can edit this using this introduction window content. If we want, we can change what the button text is. We can change all of those things, and that's fine. But for now, I think that having it and pulling that from what was the draft of the information from my item details is going to be fine. Now again, the text alternative, this is going to be very useful for machines, for people who have visibility issues, and then also for any sort of SEO. And then we have the interactivity. Now, interactivity is again where a lot of the different things are. Where are the clickable things? What are the clickable things? And so this, when I hit modify, is what I'm going to add for my swipe tool. So I'm going to turn on this swipe tool, and as soon as I do that, I'm going to X out of that. So as soon as I turn my swipe tool, now you'll see that I have leading layers and trailing layers. So this is going to be, what do I want to see on this leading layer side? What do I want to see on the left? And what do I want to see on the right? Now, here, when I do this, you can see that nothing is changing because nothing is selected. So in this case, I'm going to have my leading layers saying that I want earthquakes, and I'm going to have my trailing layers say that I have the municipalities. So then when I do this, if I pull this over, now I can see that I only see the population on this trailing side. As I move this over, I only see the earthquakes. So depending on what you want to see where, you can show that. So if I wanted to see both, right, and I just wanted to draw over top, then I make sure that the Japanese municipalities are shown on both. If I don't, then I uncheck them, and then I have one on one side and one on the other side. It's your option and your choice what you want to see. And so this goes as far as I can zoom in as well, right? So I can go here and I can see down to however far in the neighborhood level, as long as I have something. So in this case, I've got Matsudo, and I can see that there was an earthquake in Matsudo, and I can see that it also has this high population there, right? And so I can go as far as I want and take a look at both of those options. So that's why I really like the swipe tool. And then I also have different options. I can say that it's vertical. Very rarely do I want a vertical swipe personally, but in this case, I do want this horizontal swipe. This is going to tell you where it's going to start, right? So it's going to start at 35%. So whatever is 35% of your screen, that's where this is going to start. And then we go to the theme and layout. This all works the exact same, right? So I can say dark. I can say if I want a header attached to this, right? So what's going to be in kind of the head and also in the introduction window, which I have here, right? So I've got the header. I have how I want it to look. So what do I want the text to have? If I want to change what my text looks like, if I want to have a preset theme, right? And so I can change what all of these look like here, right? So this is where the header is, and so I can have that. That's available. That's going to, I can also do a custom one if I want. I can also position it at the bottom of the app, however I want to do that. And so it's going to all be part of this theme as well, right? And so then I can also, one of the nice things here is I can also have a language switcher. And so this is one of the nice things about a web application, particularly if you're interested in reaching multilingual audiences. And so in this case, because I have the seismic risk of Japan, maybe I would want Japanese. Now, one of the things with this is that you need to have the translated text. There are right now, and one of the other parts is that you need to also have designed multilingual ones for your pop-up information, because that's translated separately. And so I can add a language here if I want, and it's going to, so I want to then add in what I want to show up for each of these different things. So I can add that, but you have to put in what exactly you want for it to be showing in your translated text. Now there is an auto-translate, but machine translated things are oftentimes not very good. So just be cautious with this, but it is an option, and it is a very useful option for a lot of these applications. So I'm gonna get rid of this because I'm not going to translate this right now. But if you are trying to reach an audience in another language, that would be where you do it. And there's ways to also configure that for your pop-ups as well. So now that we've reached the end of this, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to publish this. Do I want to publish it? Yes, I do want to publish this. You can also check out those different views, right? So how's this going to show up on your phone? And once it's done that, you can change the sharing settings. All of this is public anyways, so we're just going to share that public. And then we have a nice new swipe tool for this, and we say, yep, I want to publish that. That's fine. Look at that view in portrait, and boom. There we got it. So once I have that published, right, and I can go to share, I want to take a look at those settings. I'm going to copy that. How does this look when I post it in? Not too bad. There we go. And now we have this nice new earthquake looking thing. So we're looking at the earthquakes of Japan on one side or the other. So that's how we make the slider, and that's how we make that web application. Thank you so much, and we'll be back next week.